Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, wow. Oh, hi. Wow. They have a lot of Shabbat energy, that Shabbat feeling, as we say in pre-K. Well, it's wonderful to be with all of you on this Shabbat Nachamu, Shabbat Ve'chanan. It's a somewhat important, every Shabbat's an important Shabbat, of course. There's an even more important Shabbat because we are heading out of Tisha B'Av, which is a very somber holiday. So we want a little bit of comfort. And what better comfort than Shabbat? A chance to reset our minds, reset our souls, take a bit of a pause after a long week. So it's wonderful to be together. And I invite us all to get into that Shabbat mood a little bit more as Neil, our cantorial student, in his last Shabbat with us this season. Oh, I know. So an especially heartfelt Hinei Matov is what we'd like to hear. Neil, you think you can do it?
I think so.
I know you can do it.
Yeah. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
We rise, page 4, for the blessing of the Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat.
You may be seated. As we turn to page 5, we welcome the Shabbat angels with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malchei amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malchei amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitkhem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malchei amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. L'chun Neranana, page 11.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Nariya, nariya, letzur yishenu, nekadma fanav betoda. Nariya, nariya, letzur yishenu, bizmirot nariya lo. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני.
The heavens shall be glad and the earth rejoice, the sea and its fullness roar. Yismechu Hashemayim, page 14.
ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים ומלוא. ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים ומלוא. ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים ומלוא. ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים ומלוא. Page 20. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו.
We welcome the Shabbat angels, and now we envision Shabbat as a bride, which we welcome with Lecha Dodi, page 23.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולצילה ולצילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקמלה.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'll introduce myself later. But right now, we want to welcome one another, turn all around, say hello to the people you know, the people you're meeting for the first time. Let's make everyone feel welcome here at Beth Yeshurun. All right. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And you may be seated. I'm going to now invite mourners who are here tonight, mourners who have a yard side, mourners who are in mourning for the recent loss of a loved one, to join me with the Mourner's Kaddish, page 30. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach erutei v'yamlik malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'gala u'v'zman kariv v'imeru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imeru amen. Yehei shalama uraba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru
Amen.
amen. Everybody knows that when we come to synagogue on any night of the week except Friday, that this is where we start. We start with the Baruch Hu. You walk in, ready to go. On Friday nights, you know it's very different. We have this whole section of new prayers, additional prayers that precede the Baruch Hu. In some synagogues I've been to in Israel, they spend almost an hour doing the part that we have just finished. They do the prayers, all of the prayers. They do the singing and more singing. And then they sing some more. And it goes on and on and on. They get to Baruch Hu and they rush out in 20 minutes. Well, we're not going to go quite that way, but we are going to move now into the start of the service formally. The Baruch Hu, beginning on page 39. Please rise.
Yai dai dai dai, ya dai dai dai, ya da 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 da, ya da da da, ya da da da, ya da da ya da da da, ya da 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 ya da da da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 ya da da. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Avorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Avorach le'olam va'ed.
May be seated. Ahavat Olam, with great love you have loved us, your people Israel, O God. And we sing our thanksgiving for that love on page 40.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Beit Yisrael Amcha Avta Torah אותנו לימדת, על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך ובביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We continue all of page 42. On page 44, we never forget the great exodus that brought our people to the Red Sea and beyond, and seeing the miracle that befell them, the ability to cross over that massive body of water. They shouted words which we sing centuries later. Mi chamocha ba'ilim Adonai. Who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty? Who is like you, adorned in holiness, revered in praise, working wonders?
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא 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 תהילות עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא 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 תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה, זה לי, ענו ויאמרו, מלכותך נעו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה, זה לי, ענו ויאמרו, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, עושה פלא, עושה פלא.
We live in challenging times. I suppose every generation feels that way. But particularly today, it seems to be true. Whether it's here, in Israel, so many other parts of the world, things are just not easy. And I don't know about you, but sometimes, oftentimes, I wake up in the middle of the night for no reason, just anxious, just concerned. Shouldn't have read that online article before I went to bed. It's nice to know that in Judaism we have this prayer that we're about to chant, to read, Hashkivenu. The rabbis thought so much of it that we not only do it like tonight, every night, and we also do it before we go to bed. Even in pre-internet days, there were things that kept people from sleeping well. Hashkivenu says, help me, God, to sleep peacefully, and let me wake up the next morning refreshed. We need to hear those words, and we need to have those prayers answered every night. Let us turn to page 45.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם ועד עולם ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו
V'shamru, 46.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא יברח ירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ועלמא יתברך, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתאמר וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשא בריחו לעילא מנחה בחטא ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא ואמרו amen.
We continue with the silently recited Amidah, pages 47 through 52. When you finish the silent Amidah, you may be seated. Page 51, Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amecha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. עושה שלום במרומיו והוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו והוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
We all know people who aren't well. Some are just not well today, having a bad day, a bad week. Some people have been sick for a long time, struggle to ever get well. Some people are here who aren't feeling so great. Some people can't be here because they really feel lousy. We're thinking of you all, whether you're here, whether it's your loved one or friend I'm talking about, whether it's the people watching us who wish they could be here, but just can't yet. For all of them and for all of you, Misha Berach, may God bless all those who are not well. Inside back cover of our Siddur.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing for us and all of those we love. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are not well. Send doctors with their skills, send family and friends with their encouragement, that all those we know and love may enjoy complete and whole healing. Refuah Shalema. Amen. Kaddish Shalem, page 54.
יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה,
אמן.
ועלמא דבחירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב, אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ועולמי עלמיא.
יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתומא וינשא, יתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשא בריחו, לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן מעלמא ויאמרו אמן. תקבל סרטון ואותון דכל ישראל, כל דם אבון די בשמיא, ואמרו אמן. יש למה רבה מן שמיא, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So I'm here, thanks to the generous invitation of my colleague and friend, Rabbi Sarah Fort. And it's partly explained by the fact she's the only rabbi left. Rabbi Strauss is on vacation. Rabbi Morgan is in Israel. Great picture of him, some of you may have seen at the Western Wall, standing amidst the rubble, the big rocks that have fallen from the wall over centuries, about which I wrote in my column last week in the Herald Voice. And so she's not 100% tonight, but she's not bad. But she said I could use just a little help. And so here I am, pulled out of retirement. She was worried, of course, you know, my Hebrew, what would it be like? Reminded me several times it's right to left. Okay, I'm having a little fun with her. But I am delighted to be here tonight, and I do appreciate the opportunity to see everybody and to share just a few words of Torah tonight. Actually, I want to tell you a true story about a dispute that took place at an elementary school far, far away from here, a dispute between a teacher and a parent. Now, I'll be upfront with you. When I first heard this story, my sympathies were with the parent, because I am a parent, and it is the instinct of every parent to stand by and defend your child. But then, as I began to think about it a little more, I switched sides, and I started to agree more with the teacher. So let me tell you the story, and then you can decide for yourself which side you're on, whether you agree with the parent or with the teacher. And then maybe you can talk about it over dinner tonight. There was a child, true story, in the 4th grade of a Jewish day school in New York who took a test in math. Now somehow, and I don't know how this happened, somehow the teacher made a mistake in grading her paper. She gave the child an 85 instead of the 75 that the child had actually scored on the test. It was actually the child who noticed the mistake, because she saw that she had missed too many problems to have earned an 85. She was that perceptive even as a 4th grader. And so she went up and showed the test to her teacher. The teacher looked over the test and said to the child, "Thank you so very much for being so honest." And she took 10 points from the child's score. Now, when the father of the child heard what had happened, he was furious. He was absolutely livid. He complained to the head of school, "Can you imagine this? How many kids would have been as honest as my kid was?" And instead of rewarding her honesty, her teacher taught my child that it does not pay to be honest. And the father didn't keep this to himself. He shared it with other parents, not only in his daughter's class, but throughout the school, any family he knew there, to complain about what this teacher had done. And many of those families called the head of school to insist that the school was unrightly punishing this child for only doing the right thing. So that's the story. So let me ask you, no show of hands necessary, how many of you agree with the father? And how many of you agree with the mother, the teacher? The teacher. Now, when I first heard the story, I thought there was something to the father's complaint. After all, wouldn't the teacher's decision discourage other kids from being honest if it would cost them rather than reward them? And as it turned out, at the end of the semester, the child, instead of getting a B- in math, got a C+. Maybe that 10 points might have made the difference. Honesty is a tricky thing. Years ago, I was in a taxi in Jerusalem on the way to Ben Gurion Airport, and somehow my wallet fell out of my back pocket. And when I got out of the car with all of our bags and all of us in chaos, I suddenly remembered I had $100 in cash, but I also had my credit card there, my driver's license, all other kinds of things that you carry in a wallet. The taxi company was able to find the driver who agreed to meet me back at the airport to return my wallet. What a mensch, right? When he got there, I gave him 25 of the $100 as a gift of appreciation. With typical Israeli chutzpah, he held on to my wallet, telling me that honest drivers like him are a rarity in Israel. So I gave him another 25. Wasn't enough. He told me, "You know, I could have just kept the $100 and not bothered coming back. But I'm honest, and I came all the way back to return it to you." "Why would I have bothered coming back?" he said, "if I'd known this is how you treat an honest man." At this point, I'd already given him $75. To get rid of him, I gave him the other 25. Now, you would think that would end the story, but he said, "You know, there's a cash machine right over near the entrance to the airport. And that's when I turned to him and said, "For an honest man, you are a ganef." If it's possible to be both, this man was. So my question tonight is, what does it mean when you say you're honest? And why are we honest? Is that what honesty is about? You do the right thing, only so you'll get some kind of reward? That you received 85 on a math quiz when you and the teacher both know that you didn't earn it, but the only way you'll tell the teacher is if you know she'll let you keep the higher score as a reward. Is that really being honest when you tell her? Ironically, the child herself understood what had happened. She was simply doing what she knew in her heart to be the right thing. She had no expectation that the grade would stay at 85. If this had been a test in honesty, then there's no question in my mind that that child deserved an A+. But this was not a test in honesty. This was a test in math. And so the teacher would have been lying if she gave this student a higher grade than she deserved just for being honest. In my mind, it would have been no different than if the teacher gave those students who were sweet and kind higher marks than she gave those students who were a constant pain in the tuchus. Everyone would have been robbed of the recognition of what a true grade represents. And so in reflection, I agree with the teacher and not with the parent. I think that the teacher did right in deducting the 10 points from the child that she had received by mistake. Anyone know where the commandment that we should not cheat appears in the Torah? It's actually in the very 10 commandments which we are reading on this Shabbat. And they're right here in one of the stained glasses over on the left. Lo tignov, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not cheat, thou shalt not take for yourself something, an honor, an award, or a test score that is not really yours. Interestingly, unlike many of the other commandments in Judaism, which have a comma and then a little more information about the commandment, like how to follow it, or what you shouldn't do, or why you're doing it, Lo tignov offers no reason, no promise of reward for being honest, no threat of punishment for being dishonest. It's the shortest, most concise, and unequivocal commandment in the Torah. All it says is 2 words, 2 very clear and blunt words. Lo tignov, thou shalt not steal, period. And according to Torah, being honest is what the philosophers call a categorical imperative. It is something that we should do because it is just the right thing to do. Sometimes it will pay off. Sometimes it will not pay off. But either way, we should be honest. Being honest is its own reward. And therefore, what I think the teacher might have done is explain to the class what she was doing and why. She might have told the children that it would not have been right to give this child extra points in math just for being honest, that would have kept or been a disservice to her and the rest of the class. The teacher could have helped the children to understand that honesty is a gold standard by which a student ought to live, that more important than whether you get a specific grade is whether you are a person of integrity, and that changing this grade would have been a lie that would have harmed the whole class. And so I would have thanked and praised this child, but I would not have changed her grade. To do so would have been a lie to her, to her classmates, and for us as Jews, it would have been a lie to the Torah and the core value of our faith. I hope that our children here will take this lesson to heart, and I hope that we, as their parents and grandparents, will take this lesson to heart as well. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And now let us rise, turn back in our prayer books. Aleinu, page 56.
לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו השמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס סולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחתנו. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
May be seated. Tonight we extend our condolences to the families of Michael W. Hess and Stephen Weiss, beloved members and friends of our congregation, as we invite all those in mourning, all those who have a yahrzeit tonight, now to please stand for the Mourner's Kaddish, page 58. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlik malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayerecho beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'isman kari v'imeru, amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach leolam olomei omaya, yibarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imeru, amen. Yehei shalama Rabbah min hashemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru, amen. May be seated. And before I step off the bima and Rabbi Fort finishes our service, I want to thank her again for being the wonderful colleague and friend she's been to me since she came to Beth Yeshurun my last year here in the congregation. We've gotten very close, and she's very special to me, as I know she is to everyone at Beth Yeshurun. Shabbat Shalom.
Well, he did all the heavy lifting. So thank you, Rabbi Rosen, for doing a wonderful job and giving us something insightful and very beautiful to think about the value truly of honesty. It's not easy, but it is so crucial. Announcements tonight, we have a few. Our weekly meditation groups meet virtually every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. This year, they like to expand their program to include once a month in-person meetings. They are going to still do the Zoom. The first one will be Wednesday, August 2nd at 7 p.m. right here in the Friedman Levitt Sanctuary. No prior experience necessary. For something you want to try, this is the perfect time. Next week at Shabbat Renewal, we welcome some students from Jerusalem Peace Builders to join us. Jerusalem Peace Builders is an interfaith nonprofit organization with a mission to create a better future for humanity across religions, cultures, nationalities, focuses on uniting Israelis, Palestinians, and Americans to provide them with opportunities, relationships, and the skills they need to become future leaders for peace. So please join us next week at Shabbat Renewal to hear them speak to all of us. On Tuesday, August 8th, we are partnering with HCRJ's Senior High Group at a joint trip to Lake Charles for the day. We're leaving from HCRJ. Some people have asked me, so just to confirm, we're not leaving from here, but we are leaving from HCRJ. 2 buses to arrive around mid-morning at the Golden Nugget, where everyone can enjoy some lunch, and an afternoon of gambling. We'll return by 8 p.m. in the evening, so please register on the calendar website soon. Those buses are almost full. It's going to be a good time. And finally, our Breakfast Club is returning August 8th after our morning chapel service on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. You can learn some Torah with our clergy and other guest speakers and enjoy an enhanced breakfast. So thank you to all of our sponsors that support this learning opportunity. It's a great time to pray, learn, mingle, and enjoy an extra delicious breakfast. So pop on by 1 or all 3 times. Or heck, every morning. We always got something good going on here at Beth Yeshurun. A big thank you, of course, to Neil for his last Shabbat. You're joining us this season, so thank you so much for a wonderful job as always. We're going to miss ya, but you always have a home right here. And thank you, of course, to Miss Julie, as my son likes to call her, Julie Sachs, on piano. And again, I always appreciate it. And I never thought you don't know Hebrew. My goodness gracious. Man, been speaking Hebrew longer than I've been alive. Okay, so a huge thank you to Rabbi Rosen for doing as wonderful, a more wonderful job than I knew you. I knew you're going to be fantastic. Come on. So I always appreciate the helping hand, and the ability to hear somebody besides myself speak is always fun for me, and I think for all of you as well. So thank you to Rabbi Rosen for doing a wonderful job. I'd like to invite any of our kids. I know we have a few children. I mean, everyone's someone's child, but literal children, minor children, to come on up for a blessing. Oh, I guess you are someone's child, right? But you're actually a child. So come, children. So, yes, you're still legally your children. So for all our kids who have the gumption to join me, come on. I can't see you behind me. So for all of our daughters, if you are here with a daughter, if you have a daughter around you, you can put a hand on her or send out the good vibes, as they say in LA, where I went to school. For our daughters, will say, God bless you and make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. For our sons, if you have a son who's around you or with you, we say, may God bless you and make you like Ephraim and Menashe. And if you're here with your family, so that's family of all ages, big family group hug, so blessing over the whole family. We'll say, shalom. May God give you the most special of blessings, that of shalom, peace, and let us all say, Amen. Please rise and join Neil, almost Cantor Neil Tybell, for the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'yava u'b'ratzon inchilanu zikaron le'masei bereishit ki hu yom techila le'mikra'ei kodesh zeicher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'achalta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ava u'v'ratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom.